The Ducati Monster 1200S didn't do so great against most of the other players at last year's Super Naked Street Brawl, but mostly because two of the other four were our Motorcycle of the Year KTM Super Duke R and the BMW S1000R, which came within a whisker of overcoming the incredible SDR. A Monster suffered more in the track portion of that test than on the street, though, mainly let down by the lack of ground clearance when leaned into Cak Hasan's endless high-speed turns, a non-issue on the road. Back on the street, Mostro was a highly pleasant thing to ride, as nearly all motorcycles are that deliver 84 pound-feet of torque. The 132 horses up top are like having your Brito wet. Yeah, well, the Super Duke R made 96 pound-feet and 156 HP. So we decided a Monster S is less of a street fighter and more of a hot rod roadster, and therefore the perfect excuse for Roderick and yours truly to compare it to BMW's new R1200R, an awesome do-it-all big twin motorcycle we've been looking for an excuse to spend more time upon. All we need now is a hook to hang this thing on. The theme? How about Germany versus Italy? Why not, since it's the most obvious? As a matter of fact, bombing around LA, a Monster is a ridiculously sweet ride. Our S doesn't have electronic suspension, but it does have fully adjustable Öhlins pieces at both ends, with nearly 6 inches of rear wheel travel, 5.1 inches in front. You can soften up compression and rebound out back with your hands. You need a 3mm hex to diddle the fork and make it the plushest Monster ever. The seat is really quite cush also, the ergo's not quite so upright as the BMW's but close, and the thing makes just about enough racket to save your life without being obnoxious. Duke reckons its popping on overrun is the most deliciously wicked cackle I've heard from a production exhaust. There's also a reasonably good passenger seat under the plastic cover. The one annoying thing about a Monster in town is its monstrous turning radius. Really, a Monster just wants to be off its leash. The Duke incessantly pleads to be wrung out. Switching the engine mode from sport to touring helps, but a Monster still compels you to ride faster, says TR. Luckily, the rest of the bike is up for it, with that excellent suspension, quickish reflexes and state-of-the-art brakes with ABS. Of course, it's a linear, flat, easily modulated plateau of torque, too, made all the more usable safe in the knowledge that the R's traction control is on the job exiting greasy drive-thrus and intersections. Simply swap it open. The big BMW's Woort is almost as much fun as the Ducati's higher-pitched snarl. If we'd remembered to stop and stiffen up a Monster's shock before hopping on a mountain road over to Temecula, it would have been a little tailed up happier, but it's still an excellent thing to ride on the fast, flowing Ortega Highway on a light traffic morning. You're pulled a bit lower over its front wheel than on the BMW. The faster the curves become, the more you can feel its weight advantage over the Beamer, and the more it feels like it might steer a little more accurately with a 180 series tire on back, like the BMW has, instead of the 190mm wide Pirelli Diablo Rosso I Ducati gives it. Subjectively, Tom picked a Monster because he's younger, easily impressionable, attracted to shiny objects and needs to keep hot Mama Maria amused. As for me, I'm older, more practical, may never again see a female interior, and therefore am all over the Boxer. One word: cruise control. Okay, 2, heated grips. TR even agrees with me, with a more comfortable seating position, nicely padded seat and cruise control, the BMW is the better all-around motorcycle. Outfitted with shaft drive and a center stand, it's also the more practical choice. Once again, it all makes perfect sense. If you're a bucks-up swarthy sort based in paradise with progeny on your mind and another more practical bike or 20 in the warehouse, you need a Monster to maintain discipline. If you're the more practical, pale, pasty and balding type, concerned with keeping your bloodline pure and trying to be motorgama's new word, the R1200R is one amazing do-it-all machine.